Hello friends, my name is Akshay and you're watching Devotional Study. Today on Devotional Study, we are going to cover how to query the data what you have in your Firebase real-time database. So let's get started. So friends, as I said, we are going to cover the filter part or how to sort the data using query in your real-time Firebase database. So I'm going to cover a practical part of it and a little bit theory part of it. So in this complete session, I what I will do, I'll quickly share my console with you where I have this project where you can see in the database I have the users table, right? With this data, we are going to, we're going to cover the query part, how to filter it out, how to sort it out. So before we start with the practical thing, uh, with Firebase, we have this ability, you know, to filter the data. And in order to do that, we will write down some query which will give us the desired output, right? So for that, you can see I'll be using this users reference, right, in my Firebase real-time database. And if I go back to VS Code, here I have set up, a normal Firebase project where I'm not going to cover everything here, so you can use the Firebase init method in order to, start with the code. So I'm not doing anything big here. It's pretty normal. I'm having this Firebase index.html page, and I have this JS file where I'll be using the reference of the users table with which we are going to cover the filter and sorting part. So without wasting time, let's get started with the filtration and the sorting thing, right? So you can see I have six users data here, where in some of the users I have less amount of data, and with some of the users I have like equal number of data, right? So this is the page what we have here. So this is a complete blank page what you can see, because I'll be running Firebase serve in order to run the local host. So you can see the local host is running here. So we will perform some query here. So this is the user reference I'll be using. So first of all, let's get the data in the console. So for that, I'll be using this method, once method, where I'll be passing out the event as value and then a callback as a reference, right? So a function where I'll be printing out the snapshot of the reference, right? So I'll just quickly type console dot log, where I'll print the snapshot dot val, which will give us the complete data available in the database, right? So I had just refreshed the page. You can see I have got all the users data till user 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right now, based on this data, we will perform some query, right? So let's go back to the documentation. Here we'll be using some of the references from this documentation. You can check the documentation from the Firebase doc, right? So first of all, I'll be using once method here, and there is one more method called on, right? So what is the difference? Once will only be triggered when you try to reload the page, right? Suppose if I go back to this page and if I try to refresh the or reload the page, the once method will be triggered, but only once in the complete scenario. Now, if I update the data in the database, this method will not trigger, right? If I go back to the database and if I try to write down one more, right, a child, if I try to add it, so it won't reflect simultaneously like a real-time thing, right? But if you use on method, so what will happen? Every time you're going to add the user or any child here in this user's reference, the on method would trigger, and simultaneously you will see the output on the console, or if you're trying to print it using the HTML, right? So you will directly see it on the HTML side as well. So that's the complete difference, right? So in today's topic, we're just covering the sorting and filter part, right? So this is the data what we get. Now, suppose, for example, if I want to sort or filter the data based on one specific child, that would be, if I guess, that would be age, and I want some of the childs from the, from the database. So there is a query. What we can do, order by child dot limit to first. That is the first thing we're going to do. So in the order by child, you need to mention the name of the child for which you want a specific order, right? So I'll be using age, and for this age, I want to limit the data for few specific records. For example, 3. So if I do that, what will happen? So right now we are currently getting all the users data, that is total 6 users what we have. So now if I reload the page, what I'll get only 3 users data, that is user 2, 3 and 5, right? So you can see, so we are limiting it to the first. And why is it giving me only 3 data, right? Why didn't give me from the first, from the top, right? Why did that happen? So if I suppose, if I change to 2, right, and if I refresh the page, so now this time you're getting 2 output, that is user 3 and user 5. So it will be age 28 and 12. Earlier you were limiting it to 3. Okay, and I'll just quickly refresh it again. So this time user 2 is even there. So it is giving us the data in a descending order. You can see 37, 28, 12, right? From the top. Make sure you remember this, from the top, right? And if I change it to limit to last, this is another method what we can use in order to filter out the data. So if I do that this time 3, right, so this time we are getting something else, 40, 41 and 58. So it's in the ascending order of the data, but from the last, right? So from the last it's giving us the data. So I'll just quickly console the complete data, then only you guys would understand. So I'll just remove this thing, this filter part. Okay, and I'll just refresh it. So now you will understand what is the difference. So currently we are using limit to last, and the limit to last is 3. That is the parameter what we are using. So it's giving us 3 values based on order by child, right? So that is 40, 41 and 58. But what we have is 40, 37, 28, 41, 12 and 58. So it's giving us user 1, 4 and 6. So user 1 has 40, user 4 has 41, right? And user 6 has 58. That means from user 1, so from the bottom it's picking up the 3 values in ascending order. All right, from the bottom it's picking up 3 values in ascending order. That means if you use limit to last, it will go to the bottom of the table and pick the, you know, the main 3 values, as in it will give you the ascending value from the bottom. All right, and if you go to the different method, limit to first, it will give you ascending value from the top. Okay, it will give you ascending value from the top, you can see, or the top 3 values what you can say. So it's giving you 37, 28 and 12. So from the top it's filtering out the first 3 values. All right, so that is the first thing what you can do. Okay, I just comment this out and we'll use this thing only. All right, next thing what we want data to be filtered out based on the child and from where it gets ended. right? So for a specific value, you can say. So if you want, I'll just use order by child again. So we can say name, all right, or let's use age only, all right. So let's use age, and the method in order to check. So there are three methods. I'll quickly introduce all the three methods to you. So we'll first use end at, that is the first method. So age is a number, so we'll just type okay. So before we do that, let's comment this out and let's print all the values what we have. So I'll just open this thing and we will just print out only six values, right? So it'll give us all the six values. Now let's perform the check. So we'll comment this thing, we'll uncomment this and this just get the data. So for example, right now we are getting these many values, right? So if I, for example, if I give 28, all right, 28. So and save it and let's check what is happening. So it will filter out the data based on the order by child thing, and it's what it does, it's giving the reverse order or all the data from 28 till the last value in the descending order. I mean, from the bottom, it will throwing the data to us to the lower value, right? 28 then 12. If there is 11, it will even go, it will even give it. So if I use 40 instead of 28, you will see the difference, right? So so from 40, it will give us the data in ascending order, all the values which are lesser than 40. So 40, 37, 28, and 12. So it's giving all the values, right? Other method would be start at. So if I give start at and if I change this value to 12, or suppose if there is any middle value I can pick. So let's pick 28. So from 28 it will go till the last value. Let's see if I'm right or not. So these are total values till 6 users, but we are getting here, we're not getting fifth user, right? So from 28, 37, 41, 58, and 40 obviously. So which is missing? 12 is missing. So from 28 we're getting the higher value, greater than 20, basically we're getting greater than 28. We're not getting 12 because it's lesser than 28. So that is the difference between start at and end at. There is one more method called equal to. Let's see what output we'll get. So we're getting only one user because there is only one user who has the exact same value, that is 28, right? Okay, if we give 40, we will get only one child in return which can provide us 40. You can see that is the difference. So see, the age is 40 now, right? That's how it basically works. So end at, it will check the value. Suppose if it's 40, though it'll give lesser the values, right? In the reverse order, start at would be in a different way. So you can filter out the data in this way, right? Other than that, let's clear this thing out. Okay, let's clear this out, right? So this is order by child. That's how we get the data, right? And now if there is one more method called is equal. All right, so I have the reference of these two references. If I want to check the reference is correct or not, suppose if I want to compare two references, what method I can use is equal method. So on the top we have Firebase database, right? So let's comment this out as well, okay, and this as well. Okay, so I will create one more reference here. That would be where I would say database, and I will call it Firebase dot database and dot ref. So this is the reference to to this path. I'll show you the path. So it'll give me all the three nodes it'll give me if I print it out, right? So I'll take one more reference that I'll call again user ref, okay, equal to database. That is the reference of, I mean, if I use database, that means it will give me the reference what it gets from this particular uh, value. All right. So if I use child and I can give a specific name of the child, means the three nodes what I had, I can get one of them, right? Using the child method. That means this database has the complete parent database's reference and this user ref has the user's ref reference. All right. Now if I console this out, console log, if I print user ref, okay, and if I want to check is equal to the reference of the parent, that is the database's reference, if it gives me true or false, so it'll give me a boolean value in fact, right? So I'll just refresh the page and it gives me false. Why? Because this database has a parents. I'll just quickly console that thing out for you guys so that you can understand. Okay, so database, and in order to print the reference we can use database dot to string. Okay, it will give us the reference of the database in a string way, in string. So and if I print this out, so if these two values are equal, then only it will give us the true, otherwise it will give us false in return. So what happens here, so these are two different references. It is the parent reference, it is the child's reference, right? So these are two different references, that's the reason you're getting false. So now if I just copy this thing out and paste it again, right now if I print, suppose for example user ref dot is equal database dot child, okay, if I print this thing out and in the child I will say users, and let's print what happens. Oh, it gives me true. Why? Because let's comment this out so that you can understand what I'm saying. And this we can print it. All right, we can print it out here. Okay, here we can print it out so you can understand why is it giving me. Oh, I'm sorry, it should print. Oh, copy this only, and if I print this out, let's do that, what output I'll get. So see, you can see both the references are true. That's the reason I'm getting true. So that's how you can use is equal method. All right. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm trying to portray here. Now, one more thing I would like to show you, and that would be order by value thing. All right, there is a method called order by value. So I'll just quickly remove everything here and we'll uncomment this. Okay, so this is okay, this thing, right? So if I suppose if I'm using order by value, order by value, okay, this will not take any parameter. So let's print this out. Let's see what happens. So first of all, if I print order by value, so it's giving me a complete JSON here, right, in this order. And the method what we are using once, let's change it to on, though it will not make any difference. Let's change it to on, and here we are going to use a different trigger that would be child added. Let's see what happens. Okay, so you can see if I use child added, now I'm getting you know every child individually. It's not giving me complete JSON here, it's giving me a complete or a different order altogether. So always remember the order of the value you get, it's different. Why? Because when you print this thing, right? Console dot, or if I'll just make sure you guys are understanding. So I'll just take one child's reference. So I use user two, okay, and print this thing out. Then you will understand, because right now it's giving me all the childs. Now you can see it's giving me a different order altogether, right? So let me print out the key as well. So snapshot dot val, comma, you can use the key method, sorry, not a method, yeah, so you can use this thing. And once you reload the page, what you see, the output what you're getting, it's in a specific order. What is the order? So first it will give us the boolean value, then it will give us the integer value, right? These are the integer values. So order is, the order of the value would be boolean, integer. If the key is in, it's starting with a capital case, if the capital letter it's getting started with, then that value, and then the alphabetical order. All right, then the alphabetical order, it'll give you the value, I mean, so AKU, the value it's getting in a alphabetical manner. Even the integer, if you can see, it's in ascending order. So the value what you're getting, it's in ascending order. So order by child will give you this output. But if in case you're using value here instead of child added, so when you reprint, when you reload the page, what happens? This time the order is totally different. This is the order what you see exactly in your database table, right? In the table, you can see this is the order, and the same order what we're getting here as an output, right? So that's how you differ things. All right. So these are the way you can use a filter thing. You can filter out the data, limit to last, limits to first. Those are the methods what you can use in order to filter out the data, right? So you can go to this document and get it checked. If there is any doubt, you can put the comment in the below box in order to understand why exactly is happening. If there is any doubt, you can reach out to me through email, or you can post your comments at the bottom and ask any question if you want to. So I hope you guys understood, and you know you understand the how exactly this query thing is working in the backend, and how we can generate the data, or generate a new query to get any specific output. So I hope you like the video. If you do, please do like, share, and comment down the video. So I'll see you in the next tutorial, guys. Till then, keep coding and have a nice day. Bye bye.